Well, when we switched from daffodils to irises, that could only mean one thing, and that's that we've switched from April to May. Finally, it's May. It's been wet and cold and continuing, as is typical for this spring so far. In fact, I'm wearing my jacket because it's only like 55 degrees out here, even though it's 3/4 of the way through May. But some things are on schedule. The chives, for one, as promised, are blooming wildly. And I've mentioned this before, but you can actually break these little blooms off and you get a little chive taste and mix it in with some sour cream. Makes a great dip. Meanwhile, here in bed one, brassicas, and by brassicas I mean cabbage in that case, broccoli in this case, and Brussels sprouts in this case, are all up and doing fine. As you remember, they had just got put in the open garden the last time we were here. And we've got lots of other stuff going on here, so let's start with summer squash, zucchini and a yellow crookneck and a scallop squash, all newly in the ground, and a row of okra, which did quite well in under the lights, and that's why that one is nice and tall. This vacancy here is for sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are one of the last things to plant in the open garden, and I think I have a video here of kind of the progression of making your own sweet potato slips, which I'm doing this year exclusively. I didn't order any sweet potatoes, but anyway, you can see from just putting the potato into a glass of water, basically, to get it to sprout, encourage it to sprout, to the little sprouts, to sprouts with a few leaves on them, to about 2 or 3 inch tall sprouts, at which point you gently break them off and put them into water so that they can continue rooting. And that's how you make your own sweet potato slips. And once that's all done, now I have them holding out here in the mini greenhouse, and probably next week we will get those into the ground. Meanwhile, let's say hi to Molly, who's out here, although she's not too thrilled with this temperature, and also the fact that, yes, that's all mud. It really has been very wet. But anyway, we're still getting some activity here, and you can see there's a nice radish right there, ready for consumption. We'll take that one in later and have it. So this is a nice row of radishes, ready for harvesting quite a few of them. Behind that is a row of carrots coming in well, just about ready to be thinned. Another more sparsely populated row of carrots behind that. And you'll see interspersed here at the in between the ends of the rows, that's a marigold. That's another marigold. These are all the marigolds that I started from seed, and I'm putting them all over the garden again this year. These 2 rows are beets, but you will probably see a couple of renegade plants like that one and that one. And you can see how all those are all over the place. That's what happens when you plant lettuce when it's kind of breezy out. I think my seed blew all over the place. So that's why they're all over the place. And these larger plants here, lettuce, were started indoors, so I've already harvested one of those guys. And these are the lettuce that actually wintered over from last year and doing quite well. Need to pull that weed, but other than that, doing very well. So we're pretty happy about that. That's kind of fun. And then we got 2 rows of peas. One is a snow pea pod, and the other is a sugar snap pea. And they've got their fencing installed, and they're climbing up quite nicely. And just planted this weekend corn. Now I like starting corn indoors, and I've got some footage here that shows kind of the last of the stuff that was indoors under the lights. Pumpkins, beans, pole beans, and corn. But the corn has made it out to the open garden, and I'm doing a half bed this year, and they seem to be coming along just fine. Meanwhile, over in bed number 3, this is our potatoes, and you remember they were just starting to break through the soil last time. Now they're doing very well, and in fact this closest row here, which is red Norland, are ready to be hilled up. So that's great for a single month, and it looks like we didn't have any duds, so it's good to see them coming in nice and full. Meanwhile, onions, a few rows. I think we've got a couple varieties going. I'll go over the varieties next month. I haven't got them at my fingertips right now. And of course our elephant garlic, which was planted last fall and is coming in nicely. We also have some flowers coming in around the flower bed here. And bed number 4, this is a row of peppers. It's actually an afterthought. I wasn't going to put anything there, but I had extra pepper seedlings, so I went ahead and put them in. Other than that, we've got our tomatoes in and staked, and they're a little tall and leggy, but they should do fine. And we got a good head start on them, so they're coming nicely. And we got 3 rows of different varieties of peppers also in place, and a row of eggplant. Finally, in this row is the one of the only other things that has not been planted in the open garden yet, and that is pole beans. And Jessie is deciding to follow us around on the tour a little bit, taking a break from her digging. Molly is leading the way, as usual. Anyway, this year for the pole beans, I'm going entirely with these ladders, which I originally designed for melons to climb up, but I never had much luck with those. And rather than try to do the actual poles, pounding the poles into the ground, I thought I'd do this for all the melons. Meanwhile, speaking of melons, and I said melons, but of course I meant beans. The melons are in place. They won't be climbing anything. Hopefully they'll be spreading out all over this bed. And as you can see, there's also marigolds planted in with all the squash and the melons. Again, hoping to use them as kind of a bug deterrent. Now, this is something I've never grown before. They're called ground cherries, and the only reason I'm growing them is because they came as a bonus free pack from I think it was Jung Seeds, where I ordered some accessories. And there's actually one of them on here already. Not seeming to be able to focus on that very well, but they grow in these little husks, and they're supposed to grow kind of like tomatoes. At least you treat them like tomatoes, but they grow little fruit that are similar to cherries. So, like I say, never grown those before. We'll see how they do. They're called Aunt Molly's, so that was another reason I wanted to grow them, of course, for Molly, who's over there. This is the winter squash bed. And we've got 4 varieties of winter squash this year. I think we're doing some Blue Hubbard and some Waltham Butternut and orange acorn and something called Australian butter. So those are all planted and also getting ready to go. And in the winter squash and pumpkin department, you might be able to see that there's some mounds on the outside of the garden there. I dumped some of the mushroom soil that we bought and decided to plant some extra plants and just let them sprawl over the outside perimeter of the garden, and just see if we get any results from that, because if we do, they'd be great to give to the local food pantry. So we'll see what happens with those. Meanwhile, we have some activity out here in the Dill's Atlantic Giant Pumpkin Patch, and I've expanded the bed quite a bit this year. It's now 32 feet wide by 16 feet long here. Well, I guess actually that should be the reverse. It's 32 long by 16 wide. But I could expand it even more for, you know, the optimum size that they say for Dill's Atlantics. But This was quite an expansion as it was, but as you can see, I've got my 3 primary plants out here, and they're quite a ways along, 6 or 8 full leaves, and I've got my little greenhouses planted to kind of help keep them warm when the sun comes out and retain the warmth over the night. But so far so good on those guys. I had really good germination from the special seeds that I bought, and hoping for big things as it were in the pumpkin department. Also did the same thing with way out by the mini orchard there. I've got a hill of pumpkins, and right in here on this side of the garden I also planted an extra hill of pumpkins. So got a lot of high hopes out there in the pumpkin department, and we'll see what happens. There was one other thing I wanted to show you. This is the grow house, how it looks right now. Those are the pole beans that are getting ready to go into the open garden. Behind that, some leftover Dill Atlantic Giant pumpkins, along with the sweet potato slips and some leftover seedlings, and another flat of marigolds that are getting bigger. But this is how it looked a couple weeks ago, before we moved all the other stuff into the open garden, when this thing was just jam-packed full of tomatoes and peppers and squash and eggplant and you name it. It was crammed in here. This little grow house has just been great. The plastic sides and everything help keep it protected from the wind and from the elements, and it's a great little place to get the seedlings ready to go into the open garden. So I'm really glad I picked this thing up. Okay, now we can get back to the garden tour. I think that's pretty much going to do it for us, for Molly and Jesse, and for me, and for May. Like I said, it's been kind of a cool and wet May. The whole spring has been that way. The farmers and the gardeners, they all were saying that planting has been delayed, and sure enough, I'm behind where I normally am at this time of year. But did a lot of catching up in the last 2 weekends, so we're almost fully planted. Like I say, really all we have left is pole beans to get in the ground and sweet potatoes, and everything else is done except for adding a few more marigolds around the place once they get to the proper size. So we're in the full swing of the garden season for 2011, and I'm sure it's going to be warming up soon. So that's going to do it for May 2011, and even though it's May 22nd, the world did not end on May 21st, much to everyone's surprise. So that's a good thing, because we really wanted to have at least one more full garden season. So that's going to do it. We will see you next time when it'll be June and everything will be really taken off. So that's always a fun month, and hopefully good things will be happening. Hope your garden's going well, and you're having a good spring and looking forward to a good Memorial Day and all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time in June. Marvin Gardens 2011. Bye, y'all.